What's up, guys? It's Matt, and welcome back to another NFL video. I feel like it's been a while since I did a video, and that last, my final record prediction, I felt like a casual, not in the sense of, what my records are going to be, but just kind of what I said about each team. And things have changed through the weeks where we're talking about teams in a different light. So I want to give my final thoughts on each NFL team going into the season right before it starts. I think we're like a week and a half out. I'm so excited, but yeah, I just want to give my final thoughts on every team, kind of what their record is going to be cemented, like floor and ceiling. Won't be graphics for that, but we'll just pull up each team and talk about them. So here we go. Without further ado, let's see who we got first. I shuffled the teams. First, I want to talk about the Rams. I have them winning the division at 11 wins. I know it's going to be a very competitive division, but Stafford is very questionable right now as a quarterback, and that makes me worry. So what I think is going to happen if Matthew Stafford does not play is the Rams can't win the division. There's no way they're winning the division in that sense. Everyone's too competitive. The Cardinals are on the rise. The Seahawks have a really good roster. The 49ers are always good when healthy, if they can stay healthy. So, if Matthew Stafford, his health issues, whether it's his age or he's injured, he's too old to play, then it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the Rams. And this goes for a couple teams today where if your quarterback goes down, you might be cooked. So, for the Rams, I'm definitely worried about that. I'm not really worried about the rest of the roster, though. It's just quarterback is such a huge deal in this league, especially the NFC West. You're going to need a good quarterback to throw to Puka, to throw to Devontae Adams. Their defense is not. Their defense is pretty average, so. Yeah, I think what you're looking at for a floor here, if Stafford plays, is 8 wins. But you're if he's not in, you're looking at a floor of maybe 5 to 6 wins. So big change there, big difference. This team is definitely a playoff team. Can make the playoffs if Stafford plays, but if he's not healthy, not good. No bueno. All right, next team I want to talk about. We got the Colts. Dude, I've been saying it for years, dude. Anthony Richardson has not been the answer. The Colts team, every Colts team has looked way better in every aspect when Anthony Richardson was not playing. Like Gardner Minshew, they looked like a whole different team. Joe Flacco, they looked like a whole different team. And they nearly made the playoffs both years because they didn't keep developing Richardson. I know it's good to develop quarterbacks, but when you are literally walking off the field because you're what? Because you're tired, or you're walking off the field because you don't want to play, or you get injured. You literally get injured every 2 quarters. That is not good, and I am not surprised that Daniel Jones they chose him to be the better quarterback. Listen, NFL. Teams, I don't believe in tanking. I've never believed in tanking because how does the NFL sell the tickets? How do you sell teams as in come watch them play if you know they're just not going to perform? Like when you don't want them to try, So I've never believed in it. I believe that every team wants to win now. Every team has the win now mentality. And the best chance they have this season is Daniel Jones, in my opinion. And to lose a quarterback battle to Daniel Jones really shows how bad of a quarterback you are and have tried to develop to be. I mean, he gets injured so much, dude. I think his career is going to be over faster than Tua's. I'm not going to lie. It might already be over. I don't know who's going to want to have him as a starter or, trade him. It's funny because the team that we just looked at, the Rams, if Matthew Stafford doesn't play, maybe you could see a trade there. You could see some teams trade for him, maybe try to develop him better. But I'm not even mad at the Colts for making this decision. I've never believed in AR. That's not because I don't think he's just always been a terrible player, but just because he just hasn't really shown consistency of being available. Availability is the best thing in the NFL. Like we just talked with Matthew Stafford. So if you can't be available for your team, then how the fuck are they going to develop you? So that's my thoughts on the Colts. Oh, also, my record prediction for them was like 5-12 or 4-13. Yeah, that's looking real damn good right now. Daniel Jones could definitely get them more wins, in my opinion, but why would you even want that as a Colts fan? Colts fans don't even want that right now. I mean, the team's trajectory is just going down, and yeah, I got nothing else to say. Good luck being a Colts fan this year, guys. You're definitely gonna need it. That's gonna be an very interesting Week 1 game, by the way. If you want to talk about, I watched like Rich Eisen's show, like what's more likely. I really hope that this is a Week 1 question. Like, what's more likely? Who has the longer NFL career at this point? Like who retires faster, Tua or Anthony Richardson? Because they play each other Week 1. Well, their teams play each other Week 1, so. And everybody wants the Dolphins to win that one. Every Colts fan wants the Dolphins to. They want to lose more games right now. They want to tank. But I just don't believe in it. But I just don't think the team is good enough now to kind of move on. So, next team we got is the Buffalo Bills. And I want to talk about this in just a little bit. I think they're going to be an amazing team in the regular season. But based off the preseason games, my God, if Josh Allen gets injured in any way, this team is absolutely cooked. Like, Josh Allen single-handedly gets them 11 wins for free. If Josh Allen is injured, let's say if Josh Allen did not play this whole year, this team's getting like 4 wins, maybe less. This team is absolutely cooked. Where there is no depth. The Bears just cooked them 38-0. That is very concerning for the backups. And we done known this. The defense never wants to play actual football in the postseason. The offense is stagnant against pretty good teams. So this team worries the hell out of me. Like, you guys better protect Josh Allen for your life, or your team is your team is nothing. I'm not a hater. I'm not a Bills hater, but like, holy shit, dude, that was really like eye-opening. That wow, Josh Allen is everything for this team. And it's not like he has no talent around him. It's just the team is the team feeds off him, Like they feed off his talent. Like he makes the whole team better. Kind of what Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson do. But if they go down, the team is still pretty good. Like, Ravens got a great coach. Joe Burrow has his offense, amazing offense. Bad defense. But Josh Allen, the whole team is they're done. There's no way they're doing anything if Josh Allen goes down. So, good luck to the Bills this season. They need to protect him, or this team's going nowhere. So, but they should win the division. There's no reason they shouldn't win the division. Next team, Carolina Panthers. Let's see. What else? What do I have to say? This is entirely unscripted, by the way. What do I have to say about the Panthers? My opinion really hasn't changed. I think they are a team with a bright future. Bryce Young has shown a lot of more flashes than he did last season, which is to be expected. They've won more games, so in that sense, I'm giving them more wins on their schedule, and I think they'll be a very feisty team this season. They could definitely be a sneaky playoff team if everything clicks, but I think they're one more year removed, or maybe two. But I still got them 7-10. Feel pretty confident about that. But I will say if they finish like second in the division behind the Buccaneers, it wouldn't shock me. If they won the division, that might shock me, but it wouldn't shock me if they're second place. You know, they're still figuring things out, and so is the rest of their division, which we'll get to. 49ers. I have them going 9-8. I've watched a lot of like talking shows, a lot of predictions from NFL analysts themselves. So many people have this team winning the division, and I'm just like, they lost half of their roster, man. Like, they still got a good team, don't get me wrong, but I think there's gonna be a little bit of learning curves with their new players starting fresh. Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga, Debo Samuel, of course, who's now with Commanders. There's so many problems with the wide receivers too. Wide receiver drama, but Brandon Ayuk, there's been drama with him. Juwan Jennings, is he even on the team anymore? I have no idea. I think he got injured, didn't he? So, wide receivers scare me. You still got George Kittle though. Still got Christian McCaffrey. As long as Christian McCaffrey's there, you'll have a winning season. But I think it's one of the lowest for you guys, even with a healthy team. So I still got 9-8. Could be 10-7, 11-6, that area. But I think I'm going with the floor for them, like 8-9. I'd say the floor, maybe worse if they get injured. But I'd say with this team, as long as they stay healthy, I think their floor is about 8-9. So 9-8 is where I'm going to keep them. Not going to really change their record. And we'll see how the NFC West does. I'm excited for the NFC West this year. Should be a competitive division. Speaking of a little bit of competitive division, this is the only team that won't be competitive. Yeah, Saints still, I almost call them like stank. Yeah, the Saints still are not good. Not a lot from the preseason. Tyler Schaff is throwing fucking rugby balls. So, just, yeah, I don't know. I don't like where this team's going. Bottom 5 team next year for sure. Competitive division other than them, so they'll probably be the punching bag. I think I have them at 2-15. I might keep them there. Should be probably, in my opinion, I think this will be the worst team next year. Maybe behind the Browns and Colts at this point. We'll see. Oh, maybe to the Giants too, but I think they got they got better stuff. We'll get to that. Saints are a bad team. I shouldn't even give them more time, so we're gonna move on. Cardinals. More NFC West talk. Really liked them in the preseason. They're good. I expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to have a more breakout year. So is Trey McBride. Trey McBride needs more touchdowns, man. I had him in fantasy last year. And that guy didn't do shit for me until the last week. So hopefully that works out and gets better. I do expect the offense to really shine this year. James Conner is underrated running back as well. So that offense should be good. Buda Baker's always been a consistent player for them on defense. And I got nothing else. I don't know too much stuff from the Cardinals. I'm not like a casual, but I'm not the smartest NFL player. You know, I just love making these types of videos to talk about how I think NFL teams are going to be. Is that narcissistic? Oh well, doesn't matter. Cardinal. By the way, the Cardinals I think are going to finish exactly where I have them, around 10 wins. 10 wins, maybe 11. But there is one more team to talk about in that division, but we'll get to that. We got the Falcons next. And I expect them to finish second, but I could see the Panthers kind of take them over if things don't click. Bijan Robinson, this should be a really underrated offense next year. Like Bijan Robinson, got him running the ball. Drake London, Showed a lot of promise last year. He did. I mean, he's an underrated receiver, honestly. You got, well, Kyle Pitts may take the next step with Michael Penis. Who knows? The dick is in, baby. Penis. Michael Penix showed some promise in the last few games that he was able to play too. This could be a really good team. All depends what Michael Penix can do. I always love the defense, like Jesse Bates and Equanimity. What the fuck's his name? Equanimous Brown or whatever. AJ Terrell. So they have a lot of pieces they can work with. Also like who they drafted this year. So yeah, Falcons are very promising. Hopefully they can put it together and at least finish second. Maybe even win the division. I think these three teams in the NFC South, anyone can win the division. I would be shocked if the Panthers did it, though, but I really... I'm not going to be hospitalized if I see the Panthers win the division. Anybody but the Saints at this point. Sorry, Saints fans. But the Bears... Wow, Caleb Williams might have a breakout season. He might actually be first Bear franchise history to throw for more than 4,000 yards. He's looking really good in preseason. We can't take preseason to everything, but to every count. But they look really good. Under that Ben Johnson offense and head coaching. So yeah, I honestly can't wait to see the Bears. I hope they're good. We get let down every season when everybody hypes the Bears up because they're from a really good market team, Chicago area. So people always want the Bears to be good. I think it's good for football, but they just haven't. So we'll see if they can get that breakout year and find their franchise quarterback this year. The pieces are there, man. I mean, because Ben Johnson left the Lions, because the Vikings got a new quarterback who hasn't played a snap in the NFL, and the Packers, who are just really, I'm not even gonna lie, incredibly mid and not good at playing teams in their division. The Bears could really make some noise in the AFC North. Wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe even second in the division this year if everything clicks. I'm going to say that a lot of times. But, yeah, if everything clicks, I think that's probably your ceiling for them. And that would be awesome. That'd be awesome for Bears fans. But, I predicted them to go 7-10. And I might raise it. I might say 8-9, 9-8, maybe 10. I think their ceiling here is 10 wins. I think they do still have a little bit tough of a schedule. But 10 wins, I could, that would be, that would be the most wins I could see that wouldn't shock me. If that makes sense. I'd probably be a little shocked if they won 11. But 10 is the right number. That's the limit. So yeah. I like the Bears this season. They're good. I like the NFC North this season. I have a lot of hope in it, but there's just still a lot of question marks with some teams. Like the Dallas Cowboys, man, I might be one of the biggest haters. Me and Colin Cowherd it, respectively and collectively. But hey, I picked this team to make the playoffs last season. Didn't happen. Now I'm picking them to go 5-12. Especially with Micah Parsons now requesting a trade. Ooh, this team's rough. That defense ain't looking so good. And the offense, again, it looks really good on paper, but can they actually show that? With the Bengals, with things we're going to talk about pretty soon that I really don't want to talk about, it's the defensive, it's can the offense be enough? And we know the Bengals offense can be enough, but can the Cowboys offense be enough? And we haven't seen it in action, so I don't know if I can trust it just yet. So I do that. That's where I have them at a low amount of wins, even though the offense could be enough to win more games. It feels like it would win more games, right? But we just don't know. And it scares me. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. Eagles might win the division. They might run away with it. We gotta hope for some like black magic type shit for the NFC East, for a new winner this year. But we'll see. Yeah, for the Cowboys, defense is might be worse. It could be the worst defense this year if Micah Parsons leaves. I'm not gonna lie. We could be looking at the worst defense. But I mean, you still got Deron Bland. You still got what's his name? It's Trayvon Diggs, right? You still got Trayvon Diggs. You got some pieces, but not a consistent defense. Not good enough. I mean, Micah Parsons is the best player on the Cowboys, so not having him already scares me. But it wouldn't shock me if this team won 8 games. It would shock me if they win 9 or 10. I really don't believe in the Cowboys, and I think the front office doesn't know what they're doing either. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to pan out for George Pickens either. Maybe the worst part about it is George Pickens is such a diva, and Micah Parsons is like, there is so much shit going on for the Cowboys, too much noise. I don't like it. Kind of what Colin Cowherd says. Too much noise. Don't like it. Packers. God. I would like the Packers to be better. And I feel like I'm a Packers hater. But I don't believe in Jordan Love as much as the next guy. I think he is a top 15 quarterback. But I think that's really all he's ever going to be. I can't see the Packers winning a Super Bowl with this guy. Just because he went 1-5 in the division. And listen, I know what you're gonna say. I'm a Bengals fan, and Joe Burrow goes 1-5 in the division all the time. But just from the eye test, I don't. The team is still not there. Okay. I'm being a little biased. Jordan Love could win a Super Bowl if he has a really good team. I just think the team is way too average. I mean, you have a lot of household names on that team. Jair Alexander just left though. Defense might be a little worse than it was last year. Still don't even have a wide receiver 1 really. Still really don't have a household tight end. There's just so much mid going on for the Packers that the rest of the NFC North could easily catch up, and this might be one of the hottest takes, but I would not be surprised if the Packers finish last in the NFC North. I wouldn't be shocked, because if J.J. McCarthy pans out, that roster is great enough to win more games than the Packers, even if he's average. So, yeah, Packers need to start winning division games too, because the Bears are starting to beat them. The Bears just beat them last year, almost swept them because of a blocked field goal. So, jeez, Packers are losing their ownership on the Bears. Shit's going different in the AFC North, but. Where did I have this team? I think I had them at 8-9, right? I think that's fair. I think that's a generous thing for them, honestly. You never know what the rest of the division's gonna do to them, but it's weird because the Packers could go 4-2 in the division or 1-5, and there's really no in between. So they'll either have a great season or just a mid season, and then lose first round of the playoffs. But I just can't see them making a run as much as other sports analysts want them to. All right. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Can they go back-to-back? I say absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if this team went back-to-back. Wouldn't be surprised if they won their division back-to-back. That hasn't happened in 25 years. And because of the noise I'm hearing from Commanders now with Terry McLaurin, and the Cowboys that I don't believe in, and the Giants who are, have a bright future now, but they're a few years removed. this, bro, Eagles have a fucking cakewalk to going back-to-back division. Like, there used to be some black magic happening for the Commanders or Cowboys to win the division at this point. I really believe in that. And I might just pick the Eagles. Change my pick to the Eagles to win the division. Because it's just so hard to believe. But, like, for 25 years, shit goes insane. Like, the Eagles, started like 10-0, 11-0 that one season. And they were going to run away with the division. And then they just, lost 5 out of the last 6 games, which made the Cowboys catch up. So, it's crazy that black magic does happen in the NFC East to not have repeat champions. So, that's what scares me. So, I'm staying away from the NFC East if I were a betting man, who wins this division. Because, it screams Eagles, but you just never know. There's a reason no one's won in 25 years. Back-to-back. So, and I think if the Eagles don't win the division, I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. Being a wild card team is pretty hard to get there. But we'll see. Tom Brady, the only person to do it recently is Tom Brady. Teams have definitely done it in the past, but as a wild card 5, 6, 7 seed. I want to say I've seen a 6 seed, but obviously never a 7 because, 7 seeds haven't even been in the NFL for 6 seasons. But, yeah. I just don't see, if everything goes as planned, I don't see the Eagles losing this division now. So that's really my thoughts with the Eagles. It's got a stacked roster, not even sad about Darius Slay or C.J. Gardner-Johnson leaving because Gardner-Johnson got injured for the Texans, which we'll get to. But we are 30 minutes in. We gotta keep going. Okay, Seahawks. This team, if the Rams are what they're gonna be with Matthew, if Matthew Stafford doesn't play, I think this team, people need to talk about more of them winning this division because it is entirely possible, extremely possible they win the NFC West now. I mean, it's possible even if Matthew Stafford plays. So, with that information, I mean, you're looking at Seahawks, Cardinals, or 49ers, and with the 49ers health issues and wide receiver, noise, we're going to talk about, and the Cardinals still can't get there. Cardinals and Seahawks really have been pretty consistent. Cardinals have, they've been worse, but they've been kind of gaining more wins, gaining a lot more power. So, yeah, it's pretty even right now. If you were to say Seahawks, if you say who wins this division at this point, I would say Seahawks or Cardinals. And I mean that full-heartedly. Does that make me a 49ers hater? I don't know. But, yeah, there's just too much noise with that team. And I really like the Seahawks roster, dude. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are gone, but you have still a lot of talent with Cooper Kupp. JSN, I think, will take a big leap. Sam Darnold could be really good if he was the same as he was with the Vikings for most of the season. Things could really click with this team. Kenneth Walker's a dog. Devin Witherspoon really loved the secondary. Jake Bobo. The legend Jake Bobo, of course. So, yeah, there's just a lot to like in Seattle. And you just really wouldn't be surprised if they win the division. Speaking of division winners, I still got the Bucks. I think they're hands down the most consistent team in the NFC South. And I think they'll do it again. As long as there's no injuries. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin got paid recently, so they still got those parts. Egbuka, dude, that is an insane wide receiver core for your team. Really like that for them. Concerned about Tristan Wirfs, but it's only a few weeks, so it shouldn't be too bad with their schedule. They play in the NFC South, of course. Well, they got a few rising teams, but they still, still not everything's clicking with the rest. So, they should still probably win those games even without Tristan Wirfs. If they're playing divisional opponents. I think their schedule is pretty decent, so no concerns there. Baker Mayfield, I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. It really, really proved himself that in the last coming years. Todd Bowles. I think a lot of people are concerned with Todd Bowles as a coach, but I think he's all right. I think he's average. So yeah, not many cons for the Buccaneers in my opinion. This is one of the a few NFL analysts have said this, and I agree that this is one of the most underrated complete teams. There's really not a lot of holes. I really don't see weaknesses, but I could see average players at some positions, but there's really no dominant weakness, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think they just kind of, I think they'll either run away with the division again or it will be close, but I think they squeak it out because they just know how to win the division when things get tight in the last coming weeks. Okay, on to the Giants. I don't remember what record prediction I gave this team. It was either 2-15, 3-14, 4-13. But all things considered, this team wouldn't shock me if they win 7 games. I think that is their max. It's still a lot of holes in places, but really dominant in some. So it's an interesting balance where you have some star players like Malik Neighbors at wide receiver 1. And a crazy defensive line, but the secondary still dog shit. Wide receiver pretty much outside of Malik Neighbors, dog shit. Quarterback still has to develop. So, but they get Russell Wilson this year, who did decent with the Steelers. So wouldn't shock me. Did decent with the Steelers, Broncos, and Seahawks, of course. But it wouldn't shock me if they move off of them at some point, get Jameis Winston in there. I don't think Russell Wilson will be the quarterback the whole season. They will get Jackson Dart in there as well. And lastly, so I think you're looking at a ceiling of 7 wins because there's just still things that have to develop with players at positions. Even though they have a dominant defense and could be in very low-scoring games, and that's how they're going to win their games with those trenches. So, gonna be they're gonna be a tough team to play because they're gonna get you in those low-scoring games, and if you make one mistake, they're gonna make you pay. So. Probably going to have some good field position in some games as well. They're going to be conservative. They're probably going to do some screens, check downs. Because I don't know if Russell Wilson can deep ball anymore, but we'll see. It's mainly the secondary that concerns me. I mean, they might just get toasted, so. Still a lot of learning curve, but the Giants are going in a good direction. I think Jackson Dart was a perfect fit for this team. So I'm not a Giants hater by any means, but I've never liked the trajectory of the team until now. Even with my record is pretty harsh, but I give that with every rookie quarterback I see, dude. I never give them a very good record, It's very hard to be good when your team is not that good that you start out with as a rookie quarterback. So that's why I never believed in the Bears, and I never believed in the Commanders, but hey, Jane Daniels made it work. Next team, we got the Detroit Lions. I don't think this team's going to be that bad with Ben Johnson gone. I think they're still going to be feisty. Injuries destroyed their playoff run last year with their defense. like their whole defense got injured. I've never seen a more injured team. And people still thought they'd win against the Commanders, but I mean, the holes really showed that all their work in the regular season, all that feisty stuff, it just like it spewed out of control in that final game into their season. So, I mean, if they stay healthy, that defense stays healthy, Aiden Hutchinson stays healthy, he'll win Defensive Player of the Year easily, in my opinion. And this will be... They're not going to win 15 games like they did last year, but you're looking at a 12-5 team. I still think they are the most dominant team in the NFC North by a mile. I think they'll run away with the division this year, honestly. I just don't see any... I see steps up with other teams, but they were so down and so low before that they're just not going to catch up to them at this point. Go with the Vikings, rookie quarterback. And the Packers just really showing no upwards trajectory. Lions are going to be just fine. I think they're going to be just fine. I think there's too many people talking about how good the NFC North is going to be. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a letdown because when everyone says a division is going to be good, it never is. So I just think it's going to be a disappointment because everyone else thinks it's going to be good. It's as simple as that. And dude, it happens way more than you think in the NFL. You remember everyone said how good the AFC East was going to be, and Aaron Rodgers was dog shit, or went down the first 4 plays of the game, or how good the AFC West was going to be, and it was a massive disappointment. Chiefs ran away with the division. So stop getting your hopes up that the best division that everyone else says is going to be, because it's probably not. All right, that was a little rant. We got the Vikings, talking about them earlier. Yeah, like I said, rookie quarterback, still, my philosophy on rookie quarterbacks, even with a good roster, this team could kind of look like the Commanders of last year, where they win a lot of games, maybe last-minute games, maybe games they're not supposed to, if their quarterback turns out to be kind of really good. So, hope that for J.J. McCarthy, but he's a rookie. I'm not going to assume the worst for him, but I'm not also going to just be completely delusional like a Bears fan. So, the Bears went 5-12 with Caleb Williams. I think the Vikings, you're looking at 6-11. I think 6-11 is like really good for a prediction of a rookie quarterback. So you should be happy about that. And it wouldn't shock me if they won 10 games. I think it would shock me if they won 11. So right there in the double digits. Can't see any more. I see that as their ceiling. Still going to be learning curves as always. Growing pains. It's a rookie quarterback. You can't expect too much. And if it lights it up, that's cool. It's amazing. I hope he does. Man, I'm talking about the Commanders before. Here's the Commanders. Oh, God. The Terry McLaurin situation scared... Did he just request a trade now? He didn't even show up in the preseason game. He literally did not show up to the stadium. So, it's probably the worst it's ever been. Jane Daniels is confident he'll show up week 1 of the regular season. Hopefully they can, because I would love to see what the Commanders can do with Terry still on the team. If they don't, I could still see them, pretty easily being second in the division. But it's a matter of how do you stop a repeat in this division if you don't have your wide receiver 1 from last year. That's going to be really tough. I think they could do it. There's a world where Terry McLaurin is gone, and they still play so well because Jane Daniels is really talented. You could take that step up or have a sophomore slump. I'm not predicting a sophomore slump with them. I think it'll be just fine. The NFC East will be pretty tough. Pretty tough division now. I shouldn't say tough. It'll be very feisty. Like, those wins are not going to be easy. So, it's going to be tough to beat the Eagles, and that's really the storyline for the Commanders. Can they repeat last year? Can they make it back to the NFC Championship somehow? Can they win the division? Can they get over the Eagles? That's going to be the story of the Commanders this year, and the identity of this team is Jaden Daniels now. So, it was Terry, but with that, it's probably Jaden Daniels now, and he's got to put the team on his back. See where they'll end up. I still got good hopes. I think their floor is like 9 wins. I still think they're really good. Jets. Man, I got 7-10 for the Jets. But Justin Fields is scaring me. They got Tyrod Taylor still. So it's just not... It's not a good quarterback room by any means. But it's not the worst. Justin Fields, he still won a ton of games with the Steelers. I know it was the defense mostly, but with him in, they won games. And Russell Wilson kind of sold. The team just looked worse with Russell Wilson. So when Fields left, now he's got the Jets, who have a very good defense most of the time, and they can be very sneaky, if you ask me. You got Justin Fields, very familiar, throwing to Garrett Wilson, his old college teammate. I mean, I think it would shock me if this team, like, made the playoffs. It would shock everybody if they made the playoffs. I think their ceiling is like a 7 seed. I really do. I think their ceiling could be a 7 seed in the AFC. But I also think that their floor is very low. So it's risky. It's sick. What's the word? It's like hit or miss with this team. They're either going to be very good, like very surprising, or they're just going to be terrible like everyone expected. So it's going to be interesting to see the Jets. I'm kind of excited to watch the Jets this season because I'm an Ohio State fan. I really like the players on that team. I mean, dude, the Jets is just all Ohio, isn't it? You got Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. So, as an Ohio State fan and just Ohio fan in general, that's a fun team to watch for me. But I also want to see how Justin Fields looks with a pretty decent roster. The Jets have never been able to put anything together because of their poor quarterback play, or their just some kind of unit sucks badly. So, we'll see. We'll see what they can do. Titans. I got them at 6-11. Might shock you to see them have the same record as the Vikings, but Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick for a reason. He's going to have growing pains, but I also like how, for Caleb Williams, which the roughest part was how good the NFC North was. The AFC South is not good. It is not that good. So I can see the Titans kind of squeaking a few more wins. They do play the AFC, though, which is most of their games in the conference. So that could be bad, but I do like I like their wide receiver core. I like what they did this offseason. I think they had a pretty successful offseason, signing a bunch of players. We'll see if all that clicks with them. And, I think they'll finish ahead of the Colts this season, especially now, based off that announcement with the starting quarterback. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think their floor could be a 6 seed in wild card. Honestly, they could win the division. They could win the division if shit goes bad for the Texans. But I think if C.J. Stroud is healthy, I don't think they could do it. I think if Texans keep their quarterback, I don't see a world where they can win the division. But there is a world where they can win, and that's the injuries that plagued the Texans last year. If the Jacksonville Jaguars capitalize on that, certainly. But I think a 6 seed is their ceiling. And maybe a playoff win, but like a playoff upset. But I got them at 9-8 this year. Could absolutely be higher, like I said, the 6 seed, but that's really all I got them. Maybe a floor of like 7-10. I really think they're not going to suck this year. Trevor Lawrence, again, was the number 1 pick for a reason. He's not going to be that bad as he was last year. This team's got a lot of upside, especially with Travis Hunter too. Another exciting team to watch, by the way, with Travis Hunter being the first NFL player to play 2 positions. It's going to be very interesting to watch that dynamic play out. Baltimore Ravens, exactly where I have them. They won 14 games last year. Bengals and Steelers are going to be competitive teams. They're going to win less games, so you're looking at like 11-12 range for them. I know how stacked their roster is, but they're just not going to win that many games that consistently. They're going to let some games down. And whenever everyone says this team is going to be insane, like the roster's so good on like everywhere, they're never like the best team. It's never the best team record-wise. And they play in the AFC again, and the AFC North with the Steelers and Bengals. And I bet you, I would bet you so much money the Bengals are not going to let the Ravens sweep them this year. And you got the Steelers who are always feisty. They even give up games to the Browns sometimes, which I don't see happening this year. But you just never know. So they lose games that they're not supposed to. And they just... And they can blow out teams by 40 points. There's not a lot of in-between. So, really good team. But wouldn't be surprised if they finish... I think their lowest possible with no injuries. I think their lowest is second in the division. Because I think the Bengals could win. I don't think the Steelers can win the division. I really think it's Bengals and Ravens this year. Wouldn't be shocked if they're second in the division. I think a lot of people would be crazily shocked because everybody says Ravens are going to win the division. But it might be biased as a Bengals fan, but I just don't buy it. I'm not buying it 100%. You never know, man. Teams don't win the AFC North 3 years in a row. It's never happened. So, a little bit of skepticism there, but Ravens could definitely be the first. So, Broncos, again, a team. I am not high on this team. I don't know why. I predicted bad stuff for the Broncos last year. They surprised me with 10 wins. Sean Payton, great coach. But I feel the defense won't be as dominant. I feel that Bo Nix isn't going to succeed without like just one wide receiver. AFC West is getting very competitive as a division. This could be a really good year for football, honestly. I think all the divisions are somewhat competitive in some ways. Like, do you see anybody running away with their division? Not really. I don't see anybody running away with their division this season besides the Bills. But even the Bills are concerning me now, especially with their injuries and what their team looks like at the moment. But back to the Broncos, yeah, I just think rest of the AFC West is catching up. The Chargers have already been there. Broncos had a very good offseason, though. I want to see it all come together. This team wouldn't be shocking if they won the division, but it also wouldn't be shocking if they finished fourth in the AFC West. It's a very weird division this year. So, they could just be anywhere. Anybody could be anywhere in the AFC West. I cannot predict the AFC West this year. Texans. If you would say a team could run away with the division, I think this is probably the best one you can look at. Maybe the NFC South, but I think Texans are pretty comfortable besides the offensive line, which they worked on a little bit this year. this offseason. I think they'll be just fine. CJ Stroud, amazing quarterback. Still a great guy. Their defense probably be a top 3 unit this season. Who the fuck is stopping that defense? Who the fuck is scoring on that defense? I don't know. But it's not a lot of people. I'll give you that hint. Not a lot of teams. And with the Colts situation and the Titans situation and the Jaguars coming off the season they did, I would say that this is the team that a lot of people are going to have winning the division. And rightfully so. So, not a lot stopping this team. That's kind of why I have them as the number 1 seed. Because I think out of all the teams that could run away with their division, it's them. Because they have a complete team. Unlike the Bills, in my opinion, they don't have a complete team. The team looks more complete, but literally they're one injury away from absolute disaster. All right, Patriots. A lot of people are buying into this team being a lot better, and I honestly agree. I think they will do better. I think my record for them was pretty harsh, seeing them in the preseason. I'm hoping everything goes well for this team because, Travion Henderson looked amazing. Literally a kick return, your first touch in the NFL. That's insane. Drake May, looks like he could take that leap, especially with Mike Vrabel as his coach. I always loved Mike Vrabel. So I want this team to be great. But I need to see it to believe it. So I have a few more wins than last season. I think I got them at 6-11, 7-10-ish. So it will be an improvement in their eyes. But I think it will be disappointing for most people who think they're going to do even better than that. Like 10 wins. We'll see. But I might be a fun team to watch this year. Pittsburgh Steelers. Does Aaron Rodgers still got it in him? They signed Jalen Ramsey. I like that trade, but they also got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick. So I'd say it's a pretty even trade, but Dolphins definitely won that. Especially with the production Jalen Ramsey gave to the Dolphins, which wasn't that good. Signed TJ Watt. Good job. Got rid of George Pickens, got rid of Najee Harris. I think there's just a lot of pieces missing, which I don't blame them because their offense has always looked anemic, like every single game. But now they got more rookies coming in. If they can make a splash, that would really show, make their offense produce more. It'd be great. But with a 40-year-old at quarterback and DK Metcalf, who is also a diva. I could see some spark, but it's another see it to believe it. Like Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, he looked horrible with the Jets. Overthrew a bunch of passes, underthrew a bunch of passes. His throws don't even look that good anymore. Like the motion of the ball when it's in the air. So it's interesting. I don't know why the Steelers just want to have quarterbacks with the mobility of a fucking fire hydrant, but that's not my decision. But Mike Tomlin just somehow still manages them to go 9-8, but I have them just going a little bit less. So 8-9 was my prediction. But again, wouldn't be surprised if they win 9 games. I'd be surprised if they win 10, to be honest. I just think there's too much holding the team back still. I don't like that they paid. I like that they paid TJ, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that they gave him that long of a contract, considering he's probably going to be past his prime pretty soon. I know that's crazy to say, but and I'm actually unk status for saying that, but it's like Myles Garrett and him. They're just not going to have that many more years of consistent production. So regression is inevitable, especially for the defense. But there's always improvement for the offense. So we'll see. See how the Steelers go. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Raiders, you already know this is one more my most excited teams I am to watch this season. I really think they can make a huge improvement in their team's record with Ashton Jeanty now. Brock Bowers was a stud. Geno Smith is a better quarterback they've had in a couple of years. Might be better than Derek Carr as well. Not gonna lie. Wide receivers, a little bit to be desired, but not terrible when you have Brock Bowers. Max Crosby will always give you some good stuff on defense. And there's just, I don't know. I like their secondary a little bit. It's very mid, honestly. There's things I don't like about the secondary, things I do like. So I don't know. I don't know about the Raiders when it comes to defense, but I do know that they're a lot like the team that has what team was that? As I said, had a lot of studs at positions, but not like great. Oh, the Giants, right? They're like the Giants. They have studs at positions, and then they have studs and duds. That's what they have. Studs and duds is the Raiders, but they could definitely have a very good season. I'm excited to watch the Raiders. Very, very fun team to watch with Ashton Jeanty, in my opinion. I can't wait to see that offense. All right, Dolphins. Yeah, Dolphins are the Dolphins. I predicted them to be 9-8. With a 7 seed. They could be worse than that. I like the Mika Fitzpatrick sign. I think they just signed someone else as well. Johnny Smith's on the team now. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey, obviously. If Tua can stay healthy, this team is pretty feisty. Let's be real here. When Tua goes down, this team offense is non-existent, and they score 3 points a game on average. But if he is there, this team's pretty good. Zach Wilson's also on the Dolphins. It's fun to note. So interesting to see if he'll get playing time behind Tua. I don't know who the backup is, but Zach Wilson is on the team. The wide receivers are always going to be good. Defense scares me, but I do like pieces there like Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they could have a pretty good player at tight end. And that's really about it for the Dolphins. The offense could be really good, but if Tua goes down, he probably retires, and then that's all she wrote for the Dolphins that season. So it's sink or swim for the Dolphins. Really, it's not good. It's not good. I think their floor could be as bad as 4 wins, but their ceiling could be a wild card. But 7 seed at best, honestly. And their ceiling is where I predicted them, but I think I might just predict them to go 7-10, 8-9, around that range. And I'd replace them with the Jags, maybe, or Chargers, to make the playoffs instead. Chiefs. I mean, what more can you say? They made the playoffs. They made the Super Bowl. They made the AFC Championship in the last 7 to 8 years. They'll still be a decent team, but a lot of people are very skeptical of them winning their division this year than they have in a long time, and rightfully so. The team just seems like it's not going to be dominant anymore. The offense has started to wear out. The defense looked awful against the Eagles. It all got just exposed. They went like 11-0 in one-score games. That's not going to happen again. So I think the team's going to be good, like 11-6, 12-5. I think they'll still win the division, but many people don't. So there is. It's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs bounce back this year. And by interesting, I mean I fucking would hate it. I would hate it if they bounce back. I don't want them to. But it's not my job to be biased. It's my job to be as fair as possible. And this team just it's good. They're good. We can't deny it that they always make the playoffs and they're always good and they always make the Super Bowl. But can that change this year? I really hope so. But I just gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it. I just cannot predict any team to win the AFC West until this team loses it. So that's where I got the Chiefs this season. I can't not even much about the players. It's more about just the team and its trajectory. Browns. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders because everybody loves to talk about Shedeur Sanders. I think he should be the backup. I think he's better than Kenny Pickett. I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's looked good in the preseason. I think Joe Flacco should be the starting quarterback, but until he shows signs of his age, because he's 40, I think Shedeur Sanders should take place. I don't think he should be fourth in the roster. I don't know why the quarterbacks are trying to. I don't know why the Browns are trying to sign quarterbacks, like doing all Madden project where they played all quarterbacks as the entire offense. I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like that's what they're trying to do. They're just going to have all quarterbacks as the entire offense. They're going to have Kenny Pickett as wide receiver 1, and they're just going to have offensive line. Like they have 6 quarterbacks. Like they could just have the O-line and then all the quarterbacks could just be wide receivers, tight end. Not gonna lie, Shedeur Sanders would probably be a very good wide receiver. Maybe a running. Who would be running back? Who do you think would be running back in that? Maybe like. I think Joe Flacco stays the quarterback because I think you have to have more mobility as a running back and wide receiver. But I don't. This is all I can talk about for the Browns, dude. I still got them 4-13. Still think they're going to be a really bad team this year, like they were last year. I don't think they're going to look as bad. I think they'll be a little more feisty in games. But this team still has a lot to go. The quarterback play is going to hold them back so much. So, yeah, not a lot of upside for this team. They're probably going to finish last in the division. Let's say ceiling. Well, what could their ceiling be? I'd say their ceiling could be 8 wins. I don't think that's even enough to be. Maybe third in the division could be their ceiling, but I don't think the Steelers are going to be that bad. Maybe they could be, especially if the Browns. Let's say if the Browns won 8 games. The Steelers could have a bad season and go 7-10, but it's just another thing. You have to see it to believe it. Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season for 20 years, 20 seasons. Dude's insane. So, again, I just can't predict the good stuff for the Browns. What else? We got Chargers. We got 2 teams to go. Chargers. Let's talk about their floor and ceiling. Chargers floor could be, I would say, 6 wins. Chargers ceiling, say 11 wins. I don't think they could win as much as last year. I think their ceiling was their ceiling wasn't last year. I'd say what the fuck do I want to say? Record-wise, I think they did hit their ceiling. In terms of what they're going to look like this season with Jim Harbaugh. Still think they have a few pieces missing there, like wide receiver. Still not a consistent wide receiver 1 for Justin Herbert. Great offensive line, but now they're injured, so that scares me. Defense looked the best it ever has in a long time. But got to see a lot of consistency. Got to see multiple seasons with a good defense to believe it. I think Justin Herbert is great enough to win them 6 games, though. But Jim Harbaugh, they should win like 9 to 10 games, in my opinion. But I'm just saying at absolute worst, I think 6, right? At absolute best, I think they win 11 because of the AFC West being very competitive this year. I think the highest win total someone in the AFC West could get is 12 wins. So 11 is really good for a ceiling in that division. So I think that's really it for the Chargers. Justin Herbert needs to win a playoff game, man, or people are just gonna not. People are gonna have him lower in quarterback lists if he doesn't win a playoff game. Like, do you know what this means for his career? If he doesn't take that extra leap that he needs to, he needs to. Like, this is like playoff. What is this playoff win or bust for Justin Herbert? Probably not. I mean, they paid him, so it's going to be a couple more seasons. He'll have chances, but this is really the year where you're like, man, this guy has to make the playoffs, and this guy has to win a game if he wants to have the talks of a career like Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. If he wants to be in that conversation, he needs to win a playoff game this year. In my opinion. I'm getting hiccups, but we have one team left. And that is my team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, I really believe in the Bengals this year. Like, I think the offense is going to be insane. I think the defense is not going to be worse than it was last year. Even with Trey Hendrickson holding out, he's still showing up to the games. So it's not as bad of a situation as Terry McLaurin or Micah Parsons. But it does concern me that we had to give him trade talks now. Like, he has requested a trade, or he's looking into seeing who wants to, who wants to trade with us to get him. What kind of picks we can get, like draft picks. I think we want a first-round pick. So I think inevitably he is going to stay with the team. I know that's wishful thinking, but he is asking for a lot of teams that maybe need a good defensive player. But how many more years does he have under his belt that teams are worried about? And I think a problem with this is like Geno Atkins is a great example of this. When we paid him, he showed so much regression and just did not pan out with the money that we gave Geno Atkins. So the Bengals office is just scared of what is going to happen, if he's just not going to be worth the amount of money that we give him in the next coming years. So, in terms of contract talks, I can understand both sides of the front office, but in my opinion, I think we should just pay him. Like, what is the worst that our defense could look like? Also, bro, with the preseason games we watched, we need to get Mitchell Tinsley in the roster. I think his name's Mitchell or Michael Tinsley. Get that wide receiver on the roster. Bro, he was insane against the Commanders. And I don't know why we haven't put Tyson Anderson on the roster. Like, dude has showed up in so many preseason games. I don't know why we don't give the man a chance. I mean, dude, our defense could not look worse than last year. So give the guy a fucking roster spot already. He had like pick sixes. He's had picks. He's had really good defensive plays and tips. Like, why aren't we giving this guy a shot? I know we want to develop our players on defense, but dude, this guy looks really good in preseason enough to give him a spot, give him a chance to play. So that's preseason talk for the Bengals in terms of defense, because that, let's be real, our offense looks amazing. Also, our offensive line, a lot of clips are going around where Joe Burrow got sacked and he just ran away all over the pocket. Offensive line's not going to expect that from your quarterback in preseason. So other than that play, our offensive line got really good grades from that game. So not worried about the offensive line as much as a lot of people are. I think we have such a bad history of offensive line. There is a little bit of concern in me just because of the past. But I think our offense has looked amazing in these last years. And I think they'll continue to do really good things. It's that defense. It's really defense that's holding us back. So we'll see if that defense can take a step up. And if they take the step up that I think they will, I think this team could really win the division and compete with the Ravens. I wholeheartedly think that. I mean, you look at all the close games they had last year. If defense just made one or two more stops, this team probably wins 12 games. So, again, I have them at 11-6. I think if their defense is really good, their floor is 13-4. I mean, not their floor. Their ceiling is, you're looking at a ceiling of 13-4. But I'm not going to be that optimistic and delusional. So I got 11-6, just based off how the team performed last year and how much they were riding. You know, they still went 9-8. Even with that shitty defense. So if it's even better, if it's a little better, how is 11-6 delusional? I really don't see how it's delusional. I could see how the Ravens, picking them to go 11-6 is delusional, but you gotta. We can't pretend that they're just gonna win 14 games every season. They could win a few more, they could lose a few more games, and that would put them in that spot. So. Wouldn't shock me if the Bengals go second in the division, but I really think they can win this division. Call me delusional all you want in the comments, but that's my final thoughts for every team. I know I gave less talk for a bunch of teams than I should have, but this is just all off-season talks with the quarterback situations and trade talks to teams that just don't want to sign contracts. So. With all that talk, I wanted to just give my opinion, especially because I haven't made a video in a while. And I wanted to make one more video at least before the season started. So that's my final thoughts, my final record predictions for teams, just based off the situations and scenarios. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. HakunaMattata! Let's get ready for the NFL season. I'm so hyped.